Good evening, friends. Mark Holmes here, and as always, I want to thank you guys for watching, commenting, subscribing, and being part of the Joe Boo Sports Report. Without you guys, this literally does not work. You know, yesterday I was out here after we found out that the Cowboys and Dak tried to actually get a deal done at the last minute, and I kind of went off. And I did a little bit of yelling and screaming and stuff, and it turns out I scared my babies. They all headed for the deep part of the pond. They're like, we don't know what's going on, but just in case bad things are going to happen, we don't want to be anywhere close to it. So I'm going to try and keep calm. Guys, everything's cool. Everything's cool, okay? It's cool. Let me throw them a little food here so they know everything's cool, okay? So we are one day away from the franchise tag fiasco being done and Dak Prescott playing on the franchise tag. And you know, Vegas, they put odds on everything. Everything. It's been one day and we haven't even started the season yet. Yet Vegas is taking odds now, and they actually have the odds of where Dak Prescott will be playing next year. Number one is the Colts at 6-1. But in Washington, 10-1 odds. Just saying. This is crazy because, you know, here it is. I know they say there's no such thing as bad publicity, that as long as they're talking about you, then it's good. But I don't know that really it benefits the Cowboys to have this kind of stuff. I mean, what?
Yeah, it's on the Washington page.
Oh, okay. So there's news on the Redskins owner and stuff on Washington Post. Yeah. So I guess at least we're not the Redskins, who they've got all kinds of issues and stuff. I'm gonna go check that out and see what's going on. But it you know, there's all kinds of accusations out there from basically pimping out the cheerleaders and sexual assault, and I think people are suing the Redskins. But I don't want to start rumors and all that. I have to actually read the article and see what's there. And at least it's not our Cowboys. But the whole situation with Dak Prescott, it's funny because I got emails from people saying, you know, you're a Dak lover, you're not a Cowboys fan, and yada yada. Man, just shut up. I know, hypothetically, I just want to say this, hypothetically, let's say that Dak Prescott does play for the Colts or the Bears or you know, some other team next year. The fact that you're paying $31 million for a guy who's a one-year thing, that's a waste. That's not what you want to have. To have Mike McCarthy come in here to get all these guys, to get a CD Lamb and everything else, and then start over at quarterback. And I know people are talking about, oh, and Andy Dalton. You know, Andy Dalton, you know, he had more touchdown passes than Dak Prescott this time. Okay, if you're going to say that a lot of Dak Prescott's touchdowns and things were in garbage time, I'm sorry, but Cincinnati has been bad for years. Every game they're playing catch up. So if you're saying that Dak Prescott in a couple of games had yards that were garbage yards, by definition what you're saying is then a lot of those yards for Cincinnati, since they were like literally winning 1 and 2 games, are garbage yards. Garbage time yards. And don't tell me that you think that Andy Dalton is the answer. Because here's what you got to understand. The NFL evolves. It changes. You know, back when I grew up, it was all about running the football. Passing was just kind of one of those things that you had to do. Passing became really big, of course, with Peyton Manning and Tom Brady and everything else, and things where it was just lighting the ball up down the field. We are now in a new evolution of quarterbacks. It's not only enough to have a quarterback who can deliver the football. You also now need a quarterback who can move around because defensive ends, these guys are running, 4.6s, hell, Clowney was one of the fastest out there, I think at 4.5. So you're getting big guys that can move. And if you have a stationary target like an Andy Dalton or a, from the Chargers, Phillip Rivers, a guy who can't move in the pocket, a guy who's stationary, he's going to get killed and he's not going to be able to deliver the ball as effectively. What you need is you need a dual threat now as well. You saw what Lamar Jackson was able to do. Because, see, when you have, and understand, we have things we didn't use a lot with Dak because we have, of course, Jason Garrett. Understand, play action is your friend. Bootlegs are your friend. Because here it is, you've got the defense, your defensive ends. They're trying to get the mesh point, which is the center of the pocket. You got the defensive linemen trying to get that push up the field, okay? When you bootleg, when you fake a dive, that gets the linebackers held for a second, freezes them, because they're thinking Zeke Elliott's going to get there. You pull the ball away from Zeke Elliott. You move the pocket outside. Now, the linebackers are step late on the tight ends. Your defensive ends and your defensive line are coming to this point where they think you're going to be, and you have a quarterback who's able to move out of that pocket, and he's over here. This is where you get mismatches. This is where you get to put the wide receiver, the defensive back on an island, because he's either got to stay with the receiver because he's got one-on-one and probably doesn't have help, or he's got to come up to get the quarterback. And if you have a quarterback who can actually run, that makes it even better. If it's Andy Dalton, you're just taking that whole phase of your offense really out of it. They're not fearing Andy Dalton coming around the end over there. They're not. And that's where you have to understand the evolution of quarterbacks. And thinking that Andy Dalton, who's on a one-year deal, is going to be the guy, he's not. I'm happy that they signed him in this age of COVID, which 73 players as of the 10th of July have already tested positive for it, that you may need him to play some games if Dak gets COVID. But to think that you can go ahead and just say, we're just going to let that guy go and start all over. I've heard people say, Trevor Lawrence, because we're going for Trevor Lawrence. Well, the only way you're going to get Trevor Lawrence is you're going to need to be a top 5 pick, at least. And you're basically saying tank the season. Is that what you're saying? You've gone through and paid all these guys to tank the season in hopes of getting a rookie quarterback that'll be better than what you have? You know how many times they've said that this guy is going to be a game changer and a generational player? Like they said about Andrew Luck. How did that work out? They let Peyton Manning go, who went to 2 Super Bowls, winning another one. Andrew Luck, well, he stayed injured. This is one of those things where a bird in the hand beats 2 in the bush. And I don't really and truly believe that the Dallas Cowboys are that dumb that they would just say, bye, Dak. But if you believe that they are, here's a chance for you to make a whole lot of money. You can go ahead and bet with Vegas on what team Dak Prescott will end up being in next year. In order to win, he's got to be 2021 playing with somebody else. I'm just ready to get this team to training camp and try and get a season on. I'm tired of just the talk about speculation and Mike McCarthy and Dak Prescott and CeeDee Lamb and all that stuff and what they're going to do and how they're doing this and that. I want to actually see all these people playing. That's what I really, truly want to see. You know what I'm saying? You guys know what I'm saying, don't you? Huh? You guys know what I'm saying, don't you? All right. I get down there and feed you, but my knees are killing me from doing that tile work. I don't know if I get down there to play with them that I'll be able to get back up. So you got an easy meal today. All right. And now, I need to go for a walk with the wife because we got to get to 10,000 steps a day plus, and I'm only at about 6,000. I'll see you guys later.